You know, teaching has got to be one of the most vital professions on the planet, right? But what happens when the very thing teachers are meant to do, to inspire students, gets completely buried by all the tasks they're forced to do? Let's dive into this growing gap between a teacher's true calling and their day-to-day reality.
Yeah, these words, they really get to the heart of it, don't they? If you ask any educator why they chose this path, this is what you'll hear, every single time. It's never about the paperwork, it's always about making a genuine, lasting impact on another person.
But that calling, that core motivation, well, it's constantly fighting against the demands of our modern education system.
And this slide really lays it out. This is the fundamental conflict right here. On one hand, you have the dream, to be a mentor, to be the one who sparks that fire of curiosity and helps shape a student's future. But then, on the other hand, there's the reality for way too many teachers, being an administrator, just buried under mountains of paperwork and bogged down by procedures. One is about human connection, the other's just about compliance.
And let's be super clear about this. The passion hasn't gone anywhere. Teachers still desperately want to give that quality time to their students. The problem is the system itself. You know, it's a system that consistently forces them to put paperwork ahead of people.
So where is all that time going? Well, let's zoom in on the single biggest culprit, the biggest drain on a teacher's time and energy, the true, hidden cost of grading.
You can really think of it as the time thief of education. Every single hour spent manually marking up papers is an hour that's been stolen. Stolen from mentoring a student who needs help, stolen from designing a truly cool and innovative lesson, or hey, stolen from just taking a minute to breathe and recharge.
And just look at what's being lost here. This isn't just about a bad schedule. This is about losing the very soul of what makes teaching great. It's the lost chance for that one-on-one mentoring, the creative spark you need for new ideas, and that crucial downtime that prevents good teachers from burning out.
And this has a huge knock-on effect for the students. While teachers are literally drowning, their students are just waiting. And by the time they get that feedback, weeks later, the class has already moved on. At that point, the feedback isn't a learning tool anymore, it's just a grade. The opportunity to actually learn from a mistake, it's gone.
But what if? What if we could get that stolen time back? This is where the whole story shifts. It's about a massive, fundamental shift in focus, all made possible by tools designed to help the teacher, not bury them.
And this is how it works. The whole idea with AI tools like this one is to flip those problems on their head. So all that time wasted on manual grading, boom, you get feedback in minutes, not days. The risk of human bias, or just plain old fatigue, now you've got consistent, fair evaluation. And the time spent policing a lecture, that becomes time spent actually engaging with your students. It's a direct reversal of all the issues we just talked about.
And this isn't just some nice-to-have feature. It's absolutely critical, especially now. Today's students, they expect and they thrive on quick feedback and real engagement. If we want to meet that need, teachers have got to have tools that help them teach instead of just distracting them from it.
So the core idea here is really simple. Automate the repetitive stuff. This isn't about replacing people. It's about letting computers do the boring, robotic tasks so that we, the humans, can focus on what we do best: complex thinking, being creative, and most importantly, connecting with each other.
So, what happens when you do that? When you actually free educators from all that administrative junk? Well, you don't just speed up a process, you completely redefine what it even means to be a teacher.
The ultimate goal is to get back to what really matters, to get back to the heart of it all, to create classrooms where a teacher's main job is to listen, to mentor students through their own unique struggles, and to feed that natural curiosity that drives all real learning.
Of course, this is where the big question always pops up, right? Whenever you talk about AI in any field, people wonder, can an algorithm, can a piece of software really replace a great teacher?
And the answer is a huge, emphatic no. As the source material puts it so well, no algorithm can ever replace that human spark. But, and this is the absolute key, it can take care of the grunt work that so often puts that spark out. It creates the time and the space for a teacher's passion and talent to really, truly shine. Because, let's be honest, at the end of the day, a student doesn't connect with a letter grade on a test. They connect with a teacher who is actually there. Someone who's present, who listens, who engages, and who sees them as a person. That's where real education happens. And that's really what this all boils down to. The big promise of this technology isn't just faster grading. It's about giving teachers their presence back. It's about restoring their ability to be fully engaged, fully human in the classroom, right where they're needed most.
Which leaves us with one last, really important question to think about. If we let automation handle all the paperwork, what does the human side of teaching truly become? What new heights could it reach? I mean, just think about that. The answer could literally change everything.